Oi, Petey, can you discuss the can you discuss the major depression in young people? This is a very serious topic. It just started off weird, but yes, let's discuss the major depression in young people. First of all, I am a young person, bro. I'm still 27, but my depression days are gone. How that happened, I don't know because it's the opposite. When I was 19 to around 24, I was popular and I was depressed. I had a beautiful girl, multiple, I'm just saying, I was everything that you think will make a person happy. I had the mullah, I had everything, I had popularity, everything. Everything that you would think would make a young person happy. But those were my depressive years. I was so depressed to the point of unaliving myself in my apartment was all that I thought of, bro. But then, luckily for me, I was able to verbalize what my depression was. And so, to young people who are going through this depressive stage, I would say, bro, you have to identify what it is. Don't say it's this and it's that and it's this and it's that. If if it's like 10 things, 5 things, if it's more than one thing, then I want you to understand that whatever it is that's making you depressed, bro, you have created, right? Some of them. I'm not gonna put everything on you, but some of them are imposed on you. So some of your struggles you have created and some are imposed on you. What I realized was the ones that I have created I could solve. The ones that were imposed on me, I had to be honest about them and verbalize them to other people very articulately. So one example that was imposed on me was being a son of immigrants. They expected so much things, like you had like a high expectation of what you should be able to do. When coming from nothing, they wanted everything. But my mindset was not the same as theirs. I didn't want everything. In fact, I wanted less things, but they wanted more. And so there was a conflict here, you see, of values. Whereas my parents wanted me to do, like, say, follow a traditional path of like going to school and doing all these things. I didn't want that path, but I still didn't want to be useless, because it was drilled into me that you were supposed to be helpful to your family. Now looking back, these beliefs are really absurd to me. I don't believe in anything, but I don't believe that you should live up to anybody's expectation, and there's no obligations by whoever it is should be imposed on you. No obligations whatsoever. But as a 22-year-old, I didn't know this. To 24, I didn't know this. I thought this is what people just do. You just help your family out. So one of my major depressive was that I didn't want to go to follow the traditional path and go to uni and go to school, all this stuff. Even though I went to school for 2 years, man, and studied a subject which I regretted for 2 years and wasted 2 years of my life. And those 2 years, I was upset, depressed every day because I was doing something that somebody else wanted. You see? So one day, bro, it got to a point where it was at the brink of almost unaliving myself. So I just went home and told my parents, look, man, I'm not lazy and I just don't want to do what you want me to do. But you know what? I don't want to just lay around all day doing nothing. So I'm going to try and find a work or something. But I don't want to do what you want me to do, man. That is actually making me depressed and it's giving me anxieties. What you want is not what I want. I've communicated that to them. So this is one example of a problem or a black cloud, right? That one of those things that will give you depression and anxiety that was imposed on me was this. There was a cultural difference where I would look at my Anglo-Saxon Aussie mates doing whatever they want, but most of the immigrant kids, such as myself and from other nationalities, ethnic, otherwise, these migrants were putting their kids through the rut of expecting things from this new world called Australia, you see. And so I had to be, I was very lucky in that way that as a young guy, I was very perceptive. That is the problem nowadays, bro. If it could come down to why there's a major depression in young people, you guys are not very perceptive, bro. That's not to say you're not smart, you're very smart. but you're not perceptive in seeing. You don't have to be a kid of an immigrant. It's just an example of how once I was able to face one thing, I was able to see the next problem. So one problem was imposed on me. The other problem was my creation. So the other one was relationships and finding love or the right one, you know. I felt like I had to find the one sort of thing. And finding the right girl became such an issue for me that I had this sort of inferior complex, feeling like somebody cannot love me. All these things, bro. You understand if you've been through. I don't know. I can't explain too much, bro. I can get vulnerable, but not this vulnerable. You get me? There's limits here. Anyways, so that was one problem that I imposed on myself, and yeah, that's the other. And I gave another example of a problem that was imposed on me. Now, the first thing I want to say, now moving on, because once you start to identify the problems imposed on you and the ones you've created, we are beginning to have a much clearer view of how we can get out of this depression here. You see, I'm not gonna come here, bro, and just share my problems and you share your problems and we go nowhere. That's what everybody does. If you want to do that, go find a different channel, right? And every day wake up and say, this world is terrible. These sort of black pill communities where bro, their topics don't move anywhere else. It's just this world is terrible. It's a prison planet, man. I swear no one is ever gonna love it. All of these negative. You're not going anywhere. I can be negative and cynical, but God, damn, I'm not that cynical. In fact, I see the world as rainbows and sunshine. So don't ever get any funny ideas from the way I talk. I'm just saying things as the way that they are. And I do not sort of connect a negative attitude toward them. Anyway, that's a mistake people have made in the past. They think I'm some sort of a black pill content creator. No, God, no. Anyways, so yes, the step one is to be clear and have a vision, right, or where you want to go, and then identify the problems. One, the ones that you create, and two, the ones imposed on you by your family, friends, society, so on and so forth. Now, the second thing is I want you to understand that your level of perception, right? Your dose of perception, so to speak, for those oldest Huxley fans, has to increase. If it's very low, you cannot see what is the problem. What is the problem? Oh, I don't know. I'm just sad. Well, how are we gonna change it? I don't know, man. That's what I mean. You have a low perception. You can't tell me what's wrong because you can't see it. Then where do we go from there? You tell me, where do we go from there if you can't see what's wrong with you? You have to be able to identify. If you're lucky enough, I say I was lucky because I didn't grow up with internet. You see, this shit came late. I was one of those people that used to download allegedly, illegally, Game of Thrones and put it on a hard drive and then just binge watch it because there was no internet at home. Go find my nerdy friends at the library in high school and get them to put heaps of movies on a hard drive and just watch them. Okay, so my level of perception was always, because I didn't grow up with the internet, I always sort of just looked at the world raw, not with color vision. But I have to sympathize with you now, since the creation of TikTok and short form content. Many people are addicted to just going up and down all day that they can't see their own problem. By the end of the day of scrolling up and down, their brain is so numb. This sort of brain rot is numb, and they don't even know what they just watch. They can't remember. But basically, what I'm getting at, and I'll dive into deep on a different topic, is that we're using our brain, what the mind is supposed to be, incorrectly. And that's the second problem that we have. I'm not just here, just saying, oh, your perception is low, this generation is brain rot, dead, and they can't. No, I'm trying to say in a very strategic way that it is not your fault in a way. And so don't take it as if I'm bashing you. I'm not bashing you. It's just that the way we have created things, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on what side you're on, because I do love my entertainment, bro. I'm not gonna say anything against entertainment. I have a very bad sickness. My voice will change. That's that thing. If you ever, anyway, if you ever see my voice change, I'm sick. You are in a way at a time where people just entertain themselves. They don't look inward. If you someone talk about inwards and inner child, you think they're those spiritual freaks. But I'm trying to tell you, bro, there's people that talk about these things without mystifying them. Okay? And so I'm saying you might have to get in touch with a side of you that's just curious with the world, that the side of you that can see things clearly, the side of you that have a high perception, and put away some of this entertainment and maybe, and I know, let go of some of these illicit substances, unless these substances are in the form of some kind of psychedelics and are used in what do you call it, microdosing form or some sort of psychonaut form where you're exploring the mind, then I do not really recommend you just use them for fun. But you can use them for fun all the time. It's just the major depression is coming from the fact that you cannot identify where you're causing problem and other people are causing you problem. Then the world around you is so entrenched in nothing burger, and that's what you gotta live with, bro. And you know deep down that's why you are depressed. The world I live in is beautiful. The world some people live in is just, it's like I think I gave an example of a mate. We went from primary school to high school. He was so happy in primary school, even way happy in high school because he was even getting with some of the most beautiful girls, man. And he was popular, and teachers love him, everybody loved him. But then after high school, the guy was never the same, and I could never figure out what was wrong with him. He was just never the same person. And so, without speculating too much of what was wrong with him, because I never went as far as him, he still almost 10 years later, this friend of mine, he just wakes up every day and it's like a drag to him. And I feel many young people are like that. For me, I say I'm lucky not in the form of a lottery winner, but in the form of some things made me get out of that rut and see how I was in that rut, if it makes sense. And then I kind of gradually crawl my way out of it. Unfortunately, I have to be very realistic with you and say that I cannot help you. Only you can help you. And I can only point to a few things. One being that you have to identify what's up. I can't help you, bro. Like, I can't just guess. Imagine if this get 5 views or 20 views. Those 20 people, I can't guess what's making them upset. This is the problem with YouTubers, bro. They're trying to just generalize to everybody. That's why I'm trying to say, bro, you have to identify what's making you upset. I gave you examples of what used to make me upset. For you, it might be something to someone is small, such as I don't have friends. And to someone, they'll laugh at you like, you don't have friends, bro? That's what's making you depressed. I can't pay the bills. You can't pay the bills? That's why you're depressed. I can't afford my daughter's medication. You can't afford your daughter's medication. That's why you're depressed. Unless your daughter is at least your daughter's alive. My mama, my parents are dead. You see? There's levels, bro, to this. So I don't know why you're depressed, and I'm trying to make this as light-hearted as possible. Because laughter is the best medicine, is it not? I don't know why there's major depression with young people, bro. Before my depression started at 15 all the way to 24 and just stopped. But somehow it just stopped. I don't have like thoughts of unaliving myself. I don't have thoughts of any. If anything, bro, I love life so much that I have gone deranged. I think that's it. That is it. And I think maybe that's what you need to do. You need to fall in love with life so much that you go crazy. And if you're crazy, then the world's craziness can't match your craziness. You can escape. It sounds like I'm joking here, bro, but in in a weird way, that seems to be the only answer. Okay, so there's this major depression amongst young people. Then what? What do we do about that? I say nothing. Because as we say on this channel, what do you do about that? How I deal with it? Well, I'm gonna travel the whole of Australia to deal with not staying in one place. So I actually plan. This is a real thing, and this is actually a way where you could if you create some kind of a goal, you don't have to discuss it with anyone, bro. I'm not gonna discuss with you into too deep up a depth or dive deep, deep dive. I am going to stay in each state and territories for the next 12 months or 24 months. And I'm not going to stay in one place for more than 6 months. I'll keep moving. So in a few days, you'll see me at the beach somewhere. And then I'll stay in that place for a few months and then I'll go somewhere. Why? I find staying in one place, you get fat, you get bored, you become too familiar, and familiarity breed contempt. That's another thing we don't like to discuss. All these things that make us depressed and the depression among young people, man, you can create, you can like create a list of 100 things, 1,000 things. We'll be here all day. But my solution is quite simple. Keep it moving. Not in the motivational way, keep it moving, you can do it. No, I mean like if you don't like being in one place and you're a young person, I hope you are fortunate, privileged enough to keep it moving. Like get up and go to a new place. Try there, try living there. Maybe the people there will change your mindset, will change how you see things. A nice fresh air that's different to the maybe the little town you grew up in. I don't know. Just try things, bro. Like get engaged with life. Take your pants off and try to have sex with it. If you've been celibate all this time, maybe because you got blue ball, and we call blue ball, that's what we call depression when life gives you blue ball because you haven't been having sex with it, bro. You haven't been engaging with it. You gotta have sex with life, man. And then the climax comes when you pass. So imagine if this whole time, you haven't even foreplay with life yet, bro. You haven't even gone to a point where you even kissed. That's what's making you depressed, bro. You gotta kiss life, bro. You gotta go down on life. Kiss between the thighs and make it work your leg down there, work your weight down there. Now, if you were expecting me to give you a straight answer and some sort of serious commentary on the major depression among men and it's the economy and the geopolitical nature of the world and this political nonsense, then you're in the wrong place. And the women are not what they used to be. And the world has gone mad with all this LGBTQ. No, that's not me, bro. You find the wrong guy. Over here, we discuss things that are kind of like deep, but not deep enough. In a real funny way that if you were to go back and think about some of this, you realize I'm just a human being like you, bro. The only difference is I don't feel depressed. I don't use no illicit substances. I have no complaints about anything. I have no weird way of trying to do this and do that. So then I cannot be canceled or be hated. No, but I need you to start seeing the world as your oyster because it is. If there's one affirmations, and I hate affirmations, and I want you to understand, I hate affirmations. If there's one affirmations I have, I only have one. I only have one. I'm going to share with you. And do not go share with these eat, pray, love people. Just between me and you, Chico. Between me and you. That affirmation is, if you were born, you belong here. That's it. That's it. That's it. I don't care if you were the most ruthless man in history. the worst person to ever exist, the best person to ever exist. If you are deformed or able, if you are somehow rich or poor, if you were born, you belong here. If you were born and you're watching this, you belong here, bro. And if you ever feel like you don't belong here, something is seriously wrong in your life. I could lose my parents, become an orphan, whatever. The most worst things you can think of could happen to me. And I'll still think I belong here. Let that sink in for a moment. Like, how crazy does a man have to get to think the worst things in life could happen to me? But if I still breathe and I could look at my hands like this, and I could look in my eyes like I am looking in my eyes in this camera, then you and I belong here. If you can hear my voice and I can read your text, I can hear your voice, I can check your hand, you belong here. Even if you are my ops, my voice is changing, bro, bad. You belong here. If you are my op, you will belong here. And you were put here. Huh? For me as a what is the word here? Formidable opponent. You are here to make me stronger, my ops. That's why I love you. You will belong here. Goodbye.